right, hello everyone. It's Coach Ryan here. I'm going to lead you through a 45-minute mobility session. Should be roughly about 45 minutes, give or take. So this is a great routine that you can kind of run through either on your rest day, active recovery day, if you want to supplement, a hard strength day, or use this as a warm-up even before. Cool down after, really whenever you can fit it into your schedule. It should be a pretty good full body mobility routine just to kind of get all the muscles and joints loosened up and moving a little bit easier, more lubricated. Okay, so equipment that you'll need for this, trying to keep it super simple for you, you're probably going to want a mat or a towel, something that you can put underneath your knee because we will be in a lunge position, putting some pressure through our knees there. You'll also, again, either want a towel or a band, just something that you can grab a hold of with your hands. We're going to be wrapping it around our foot for a hamstring stretch, and then also doing some overhead openers with it. So band, towel, going to be good for that. And then the other thing, optionally, but if you do have it, is great, just some lighter dumbbells. We're going to be doing a weighted groin stretch. I would say no weight higher than 10% of your body weight. So I have 20-pound weights for myself here, 20 pounds in each hand. I'll show you a variation though. If you don't have weights, don't worry about it. We can apply some pressure just with our own body weight. Okay, so we're gonna start off. I have the mobility broken down into 3 series. So we're gonna start by working on mobility for 3 distinct movements that we see in our workouts all the time. First series is going to focus on the squat, so opening up kind of the joints and the muscles that we use for the squat. Second series will be the hinge series, so for that deadlift or a good morning, anything where we're hinging forward, so we'll open up more of the posterior chain into our lumbar spine. And then the push series to finish it, so lots of overhead and pressing stuff. We'll open up the shoulder and the thoracic spine kind of higher up on our back there. Okay, so let's get started. You could start, I would also recommend doing this entire series or the entire mobility routine in either socks or bare feet, okay? We're actually gonna try to focus on opening up the feet and the ankles, and we don't wanna have the shoe kind of cramping our style or our feet. Okay, so up on our toes here, sink your hips back onto your toes. Closer your wrists are towards your knees, then the more you'll get out of this one. Okay, so we're just gonna start by sinking back and then push ourselves forward over top of our wrists and sink back onto our heels. So alternating back and forth, feeling a stretch on our toes as we sink back, and then a stretch through our wrists as we move forward. Okay, we're just going for time here. There's no certain speed that I want you to work through these. A lot of the movements that we're going to do today are going to be for time, and they're either going to be dynamic, so like we're doing now, moving through the positions, or we're going to be holding them for a certain amount of time, usually between 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, we'll take it into some circles here, so wrist circles, bringing yourself over on the right side first, and then rolling onto the left. Okay, so just circling back and forth. You can stay on one direction here. We'll do a few more reps this way, and then we can slide the other way. But yes, I did say 2 minutes. We do have some 2-minute holds in today's workout. Okay, we'll switch directions here once you get back to the start. Going the other way, starting over that left arm first, and then roll it over to the right. Okay, holding some of the stretches today, again, for 2 minutes. Trying to get the most out of our workout here and the most out of our stretches. Really hard to actually get any activity from holding a static stretch by doing it for less than 30 seconds or even a minute, some would say too. You definitely want to go for at least 30 seconds on any static stuff. Okay, we're done with those wrists. But like I said, definitely want to go for more than 30 seconds on any static. So when you're holding the stretches, the muscle typically does not relax until you give it 30 seconds in whatever position. And then we want to take advantage of that relaxed position. That's why we hold it for 2 minutes. Okay, this next one here, we're going to do wall ankles. Okay, it's a 3-way stretch. The ankle is a ball and socket joint, right? We can roll it. It's not just a flex up and down. So we're going to try to hit it in 3 directions here. So up on a wall, you'll have your hands here. I want you to take 2 fists, place them down in from the wall to your toes, okay? That should be the distance from your foot to the wall. And then we're gonna be pressing our knee towards the wall in 3 directions. So again, pressing first over the big toe. Let me get it in frame here. So pressing on the inside like that, and then we'll press it straight ahead, and then pressing it out over our pinky toe. And then we'll move through those 3 directions. Make sure that your heel stays planted. I don't want to see, well, I'm not going to see it, but just hold yourself accountable. Don't be lifting your heel off the ground. Really keep that pressed into the ground. That's what's going to help give you that stretch through the back of your foot, and also just open up in the front of that ankle joint too, okay? So we're gonna go for time here. I'll get the timer started now. Okay, so just moving through this at your own pace through the 3 directions. Again, like I said, going over that big toe first, and then going over the middle of the toe, just straight up pushing it forward, and then out to the side on that pinky toe. Okay, and you want to be aiming to be just about touching the wall on each of these reps, especially when you're just pushing your knee straight forward over your foot. That's why I give the 2 fists as a kind of a marker. The target that you want to be able to hit is that your knee just touches the wall once you get in that fully extended position, about 2 fists away. That's typically a sign that your ankle range of motion is pretty good. Okay, we have enough time for a couple reps here. Nice. Okay, we'll switch legs. Ooh. Roll that ankle out. Okay, so we're switching sides. Again, same thing. Line it up, 2 fists away from the wall, and then we'll just press. And I unfortunately don't have any music for this routine today, so feel free to get your own music or playlists going. We will have quite a bit of time where we're just hanging out in some of these positions. And I mean, I could probably talk through all of that, but I don't think anyone wants to listen to me do that. So feel free to put your playlists on, get some music going. Just enjoy the mobility routine. Even if you don't enjoy it, just tell yourself you do. Convince yourself. Might help. Okay, 5 seconds left. Nice. All right. Ankles are feeling pretty good, I hope. Mine are at least, okay? We are going to now move into our first squat hold for the day, okay? So drop it down into a nice low squat, okay? This, I'm fine if you're back round. So I'm gonna hold my squat in this position. My back is rounded, but holding in that bottom position, it should feel like you're just hanging out. It shouldn't feel too strenuous. If it does, you can always put your hands on the wall, sit your butt onto the wall here as well. But we want to try to hold this squat just to feel if anything is super tight. By the end of this minute, you should be feeling if anything's tight, it should start making some noise, okay? So we'll start the timer now, 1 minute, just holding in this squat position. Okay, with your feet too, I want you to think about trying to grip the ground with your big toe and your pinky toe as well. So I know we talk a lot about driving through the heels on a squat. That's typically because people come up onto their forefoot, but it's especially important when we're down in this low squat position that you can grip the ground on all 3 corners of your foot. So big toe, pinky toe, and heel. Think of your foot like a tripod, and then we grip that ground and we can screw our feet down. Give ourselves a nice strong base of support here. 10 seconds left on this hold. One and time. Ooh. Coming out of that. Nice. We will do another minute squat hold a little bit later after we do a few more stretches here. So take note of how you feel now, because we will be able to compare it the next time we move into that squat. Okay, next one. This is called a couch stretch. You need something underneath your knee because we will be putting some pressure through that. You can also, if you have some padding, put it on your foot. This is a great one to actually do on the couch as well because you get the padding from the cushion on your knee and on the back of your foot. But anyways, I'll show you how to get it set up. Just go on your knee as close to the wall as you can get. Okay, your foot is flat on the wall, and then you're going to be pushing your upper body back. The gold standard here is shoulders resting on the wall with the knee right up against it. I'm not quite there yet, so I'm not going to show you that, but if you can get into position, I'm going to start the timer now. Okay, and we're holding here for 2 minutes on each side. Yep, no, I said it. So make sure you don't pick a position that's too painful right off the start. There's no way you're going to last 2 minutes if you do that. Okay, find something that you can feel the stretch through your quad and your hip flexor here, but it's not an unbearable amount. Okay, like I said, with these stretches, typically after about 30 seconds, we have some release happen through the muscles and they kind of give some tension, and then that's when you can start to actually push yourself back a little bit further and sink into that stretch a little bit more. If this is like way too much for anyone too, and you feel like you need to move your knee off the wall and keep it in this position, or even just having your foot up like that is way too much, you can also just take it and do a static lunge, like so. Okay, it'll hit the hip flexor a little bit more. We won't be able to hit that quad as much as I would like everybody to, which is okay. If that's what you can do, then stick with what you can do. And then if you're not even close to a wall or anything, you can also grab your foot like so and pull it in close to your butt. Won't make it any easier, but that's just another option if you don't have a good surface to be pressed up against here. Hold another 30 seconds, then we'll switch sides. Right. Start to release out of that and put your hands down and then just slide your foot side off the wall. Whew. Give that leg a bit of a shake out. All right, first one done. We'll switch sides here. Okay, so we're going on the other leg now. Same thing on the other side. Get that timer started in 2, 1, and let's go. Okay, something to note also is that typically each side of your body is going to be a little different from one another. No one has perfect symmetry between the left and right side in strength or mobility, or maybe you do in your shoulders, but maybe your legs, you have one hip that you injured a while back and it is a lot tighter and weaker than the other one. So just take note of that. Don't expect each side to be able to perform the same on each. That's why, this one you might be able to actually press yourself fully back against the wall. I cannot. Maybe this one you need to take it down onto the ground and just stretch out that hip flexor too. Okay, just keep yourself accountable here. Try to get the most out of each of these stretches. We're not just going through the motions here, trying to actually get some good value out of this mobility work. That's it, 10 seconds left. Ooh. And release. Wow. Quads are tight today. Holy smokes. Okay, so now we're gonna try to open up in our inner groin here. Okay, so these muscles on the inside of our leg typically get pretty tight. I'm gonna like reposition. Yeah, I'm gonna just move this camera over here so you can get a bit of a better view. Okay, so this is a seated against the wall groin stretch. So up against the wall here, bring your feet to touch. This one's also going to be for time, so we don't need to be flying through the reps, but rather than just holding our usual butterfly in this position, we're gonna add some weight onto our knees to help push us dynamically into some deeper ranges of motion, maybe than you're used to. Okay, so if you don't have any weights, you can use your hands, pressing down on your hands, and then press up into your hands with your knees as well. So give it a sec where you just press down, and then pull those hands up, and press down, and pull the hands up with your knees. Okay, so we're not releasing that tension, we're keeping the tension on. If you have weights, place those weights on your knees, just like so. And same thing, so we press up, and then release. And let yourself sink into that stretch for a couple seconds before you press up again. So we get this nice alternating sequence of activation with the muscles, pulling those legs and knees up a little bit, and then letting ourselves sink a little bit deeper into that stretch. Okay, this one we're also going for time. We've got 1 minute left here. So hopefully you started while I was rambling at the start there. We're going for 2 minutes total, so even if you started late, you can pause the video and set your own timer. I'll try to make sure I'm making it clear for each of the exercises. I think I missed it at the start, but we did each of those wrist movements, so the wrist rocking forward and back and the wrist circles, we did 30 seconds for each of those. And then 1 minute on each side for the 3-way ankle stretches on the wall as well. So 10 seconds left. One, and time. All right, put those weights down. Release here. All right. So everything's starting to feel a little more loosened up in the lower body. We're gonna move through some hip movements. So these ones are actually going to be for reps here. I wanna make sure that we get an even number in each direction on each side. So starting off with hip circles. So be in a tabletop position. So on your knees and your hands. And then we're gonna start by doing hip circles, bringing the knee forward, out to the side, kicking back, and then back to that neutral position, all right? So we'll go 5 times in this direction on my count. We can all follow along. Okay, so bringing that knee up, kicking the leg out to the side, push it back behind you, drive through your heel, and then knee back in, okay? Up to the top, and then rotating out, push that knee back, and back to the middle. That's 2 reps. Okay, knee to the elbow there, and then pressing out. Heel comes back to neutral. Okay, knee up and out, kicking the heel back and in. Last one here, knee up and out, kicking heel back to neutral. All right, we'll switch directions. So we kick the heel back first, roll it out to the side, drop it down, the middle, perfect, okay? Kicking that heel back again, rotate it out to the side, drop it down, kick back, roll out, and drop it, That's 3, 2 more. Kicking back, rolling out, and dropping. Last one, kick back, roll out, and drop it. Nice work. All right. Same thing on the other side. So starting off, driving that knee up. Okay, so we'll drive knee up and out. Push that heel straight back behind you and back to the middle. Okay, up and out, kicking back and middle, up, out, back. That's 3. Bring it up, out, back. Is 4. Last one, up, out, and back. Makes 5. All right, switching directions. Kick back, bring that leg out, drop the knee, kick back, leg out, and drop. It's 2. Kick back, roll out, and drop. 3. Kick back, and out, and drop for 4. Okay, kick back, roll out, and drop for 5. All right. Okay, last one for the hips here. Finishing up on our squat series. Here we have 90-90s. If you can, try to do this without your hands on the ground. So what we're gonna do is roll our hips side to side with our knees dropping from side to side. So we'll get some internal and external rotation through those hips. Again, like I said, if you can do this from a seated position with your hands up, that's great. I cannot on my left side. I lack the mobility in my hip. So another option is always just to put your hands behind you as well, okay? Going for time on this one. We've got it started, we're just going for a minute here. Okay, we've got about 40 seconds. Again, this one is on your own time. So just dropping knees to side, pause for a second. If any one position feels super sticky or anything too, feel free to hang out in it for a little bit longer, maybe pulse it at the bottom as well. 10 seconds left. One, done. All right, last one for the squat series. We're just gonna hold squat. Okay, so one more time, holding that squat for a minute. The same thing here. Again, make sure toes pulling in the ground, so we're squeezing, kind of screwing our feet in. We'll drop down nice and low, and then hold in this position. Again, like I said before, well, at least I hope you listened. Taking note of how that first squat felt. Feel how this one is different. Okay, maybe it feels a little bit looser, a little more comfortable in that bottom position. Again, this shouldn't feel like a strain too much on the body, okay? This should feel somewhat comfortable to just be hanging out down here, at least for a minute. If we were to push it longer, say 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes, probably be feeling it at that point, but hopefully now that we've loosened some stuff up, this is feeling quite a bit better. And if there is anything that's screaming out at you, like your hips are just super tight right now, your quads or even the front of your shins or your ankles, that's typically a sign that you probably need a little bit more love in those areas with your mobility. Okay, we'll release that squat. But like I said, if anything felt tight in that squat or coming up out of that squat, probably means that you should spend some extra time. So feel free to either pause the video or just reference some of the stuff that we did earlier in your own mobility routines. Throw that into your warm-up. If anything made it feel way better from one squat to another, that's probably a good sign that that's something probably useful to add into your warm-up, especially on lower body days if we're going to be doing lots of squats. Okay, we'll move into the second part here, into our hinge series. So this one's going to be focusing more, again, on that posterior chain, so working through the back of our leg, into our glute and our lumbar spine. So we're going to start off just getting some movement through our spine first with cat-cows. We'll go for 5 reps on this one, and finishing in both positions, so 5 in each position. Start off pulling the shoulder blades back, okay? The hips come up and the eyes come up as well. And then from here, tuck your chin in, your body. Think about pressing the ground away from you, and then we'll pull those hips in as well. Okay, so that we're tucking our belly button way up to the sky, and then we'll release. Eyes coming back up to the top. Nice, okay? That's 1 full rep there. So just moving slow, pushing up through to the top, and then dropping, bringing those hips back up. The shoulder blades come together and eyes up. That's it, team. Nice, okay? Curling back up, pushing our back up towards the sky, and then moving nice and slow back to that top position. 3 reps, okay? We have 2 left here. So again, tucking that chin in, bringing those hips in as well, tucking right up to the sky, the back, and then releasing, unwinding. Got 1 more rep here. Okay, tuck that chin, press the floor away, bring those hips in, and release the hips, bring the shoulder blades back together, and eyes up. All right, it's feeling better already. We're going to hit the hamstrings here with what is called an elephant walk. So I'm going to set the timer now for 2 minutes. We're going to be in a bent over position. If you can reach the ground, that's great. I cannot. I'm going to grab a hold of my shins. If you can't grab your shins, grab a hold of your thighs. You're just looking for somewhere to anchor your hands to. We're going to alternate pressing 1 leg back at a time, straightening it out, and really pressing, squeezing our thigh tight as well. Okay, so timer's started, 2 minutes here. Again, if you can reach the floor and put your hands there comfortably, that's great. You can also do it with your hands walked out a little bit, if you can't reach that, and press through. Almost in a modified down dog. It's okay if the back is rounding on this one. Again, I prefer if it doesn't. That's why I like to do hands on my shins, just because it feels more comfortable on my back, but feel free, whatever works for you. If you have a little box as well, or a stair, you can put your hands on from here too. That also works really well. But just moving on your own time, pressing 1 leg back and releasing, pressing through the other. Got 30 seconds left here. Okay, last 5. Got enough time for 1 more rep on each side here. And release. All right. Moving now down to the ground here, so we'll lie flat on our back. Remember that band or towel for the equipment. We'll need it now, so make sure that you grab that. If you don't have one yet, then I would pause the video and grab it. There's not really a modification for this one that you can do without something to anchor onto your foot with. So this is a banded hamstring stretch. We're going to take the band or the towel, whatever you have, wrap it around your foot, okay? And then we'll lie down on the ground. So you want something ideally that has enough length that you can grab it comfortably with your hand, okay? What we're gonna do first for 30 seconds is just move through, bringing the leg down to the ground and up at the top, giving a little bit of a tug, and then dropping it back down. Again, 30 seconds, really make sure that that knee is straight out. We're gonna do another one with the knee bent, but I want you to make sure that that leg is straight as we pull through. And notice you should feel that stretch quite a bit, kind of through the back of that knee joint, right around that area. So we're going for the bottom of the hamstring right now. Well, I guess it depends on where you look at it from. Could be the top. It's the top right now, but right where it inserts into that knee. Okay, last one there. All right, and then we'll move with a bent knee now. So keeping the leg up at the top. Okay, so bent leg. I want you to pull that band straight down. So you're pulling it down towards your chest, and then we'll press the knee out and release. Pull that band down. Okay, so press the knee and release. It's okay if you can't get that leg fully straight from this position. You just want to be applying a little bit of tension and resistance by pressing that knee away and then pulling it straight down. Okay, last one here. Nice. All right, we'll switch legs. So doing the same thing on the other side. We're going to start off with a straight leg. Okay, so from the ground, straight leg, we pull up, a little tug at the top, and then release it down. Back to the top. Again, we're going for another 30 seconds here. And then bend the leg. Again, same thing, pulling that band straight down towards your chest. Extend that knee out, and then bend it in. Three, two, one, release. Okay. Move now into a figure four, twist and hold. So for this one, setting up for a figure four, so you'll cross ankle over your thigh here. Hands should come out into a T. Just gonna make sure I can track the time here. We're gonna hold this for 1 minute in each position. Okay, so crossing that ankle over, arms out in a T shape, and then you're going to drop whatever leg is crossed over, that foot, you're going to roll to the side so that that foot can then lay flat on the ground. Okay, both shoulders should be kept on the ground for this as well. We're looking just to introduce a little bit of rotation through that lumbar spine, but also should be feeling a stretch kind of through that outer hip area as well. And 15 seconds. One, all right. Release that side. Do the same thing on the other side, so cross the other ankle over. Okay, we'll drop it down when you're ready. Timer starts. 15 seconds. And release. All right, that is the Hinge series complete. We're gonna now start to open up in our upper back and through our shoulders for the push series. This is the last little bit of the series here, or the last little bit of the routine. Okay, so we're gonna start with a T-spine opener here, right? So I'm gonna get the timer ready to go as well. Okay, so we're gonna go a minute in each direction here. Think like you were lying in a chair that fell down on the ground on its side. Your legs should be bent at 90 degrees in both directions. So bent 90 at the hip, bent 90 at the knee. We'll have our arms out in front of us, straight out in front. You're gonna reach forward with that top hand and then peel it back along your arm, open up to the side and let your eyes follow that hand as they come back, okay? And then we'll just repeat. So we're gonna go 1 minute on each side here. So hand comes out and then we pull, slide that arm back along our body to the ground and then back out in front. Okay, you're also aiming here to get the shoulder down on the ground while keeping both legs here pressed together and pressed into the ground. Okay, so we don't want to be sacrificing that position to try to open up more at the top. If you can't get the shoulder or the arm to touch the ground, that's okay. Okay, as long as you're making sure that those knees are pressed together and pressed into the ground. That way we can get the maximum amount of rotation that our body will allow us here. Ten seconds left on this side, then we're gonna go the same thing on the other side. 2, 1, and switch. Okay, so same thing, get the timer started. Last 5 seconds here. And time. Yes, all right. Taking that band or that towel again in our hands, we want to be up in a V shape like that, okay? So whatever you have, we're gonna lie flat on our stomachs. Don't really have a name for this one. I call these the, what did I write them down as? The towel slash band thoracic supermans. That name means nothing to anyone, okay? So take your hands in a V shape. What we're gonna do is we're gonna alternate one arm at a time, lifting up and then back down to the side, okay? So up at the top, you wanna make sure that your hips are staying pressed into the ground, okay? So both hips, if we're lifting up from there, then we're going a little bit too far, okay? So as far as your body allows you to lift up without lifting that hip, bring one arm up and set it back down here. Doing this also for 1 minute. Okay, just on your own time, moving through these positions. Almost there, team. You probably have enough time for one more on each side. There. Okay, next one for 1 minute. We're doing wall slides. So I'm gonna move this camera here so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so on this one, we want to try to maintain as many points of contact with the wall as we can. So heels, hips, shoulders, everything is touching. Okay, wrists on the wall, and then we're going to slide up to the top and bring it back down. Try to peel those elbows into our sides as best as we can. And then sliding up. Go as far as your body allows you to while you can still keep your wrists on the wall. So you see, if I get down to here, my wrists are off. This does nothing, okay? So try to keep that pressed in. As you come up, try to keep this movement as strict as possible. Because you'll notice over time, if you do this movement often enough, you can start to get a little bit deeper into this stretch. Shoulders are probably burning by now. I know mine are. That's it. All right, last one here. Nice. That is a burner for sure. Okay. I've got a couple more that I might have to leave you with to do on your own time, just because we got some people rolling in here for a class. So I'll show you what we have going on. The first one is what did I call this? Well, it's really just an overhead shoulder opener. So you can do this on a wall, or if you have a box as well. Okay, so just in this position, hands pressed into the wall, and then we think about just sinking down with our chest, so sinking our chest down, and really you should feel that right through the back here, kind of opening up. Just in that position, okay? Holding there. Set yourself a 2-minute timer for that one, okay? So hold this position for 2 minutes. The other alternative that you can do for that is if you have a box or a step or something that you can anchor yourself onto, like this box here. Put your hands on the box and then drop yourself down. If you want a little bit more intense through the back as well, you can place elbows on the box and then press your chest down in the box from there as well. So a couple alternatives on that one, okay? Last one I'm gonna show you. You'll need a corner or a doorway or something that you can press yourself into. Okay, I'm gonna use this pillar just as an example, but chest opener here with a little bit of a modification. So you're gonna take your hand, okay, so it's facing like a karate chop, like that, okay? We're gonna press the elbow into the doorway or the pillar, whatever you have, and then push the thumb back away from you. So I think you can see that there. I'm lifting my hand off the wall, and then turn your body, so turn to face slightly away from your position as well, while pulling that thumb back. You should feel that right through the shoulder joint and through your chest as well, okay? Do the same thing on the other side. Go 2 minutes in each position for that. Set yourself a timer, and then you will be complete with the mobility work, okay? Nice work today. Yeah, if you do those extra ones, it should bring you to about 50 minutes. So not bad. I went 5 minutes over, but can't blame me. There's nothing better than doing some mobility work. So have fun with it. If you have any questions too, just let me know. Yeah, we can go from there, right?